All right, welcome back to the All American Hoops podcast. And when I say welcome back, I mean welcome back because it has been way too long since we've had it. Since we've had an episode. Today's January 8th. We didn't have one last week because it was New Year's Day. We didn't have one the week before because it was Christmas Day. I think we had. I think I wrote solo the week before that. But either way, it's been way too long. But regardless, joining me is my younger brother Matt Driscoll.
It's always a pleasure. Like you said, it's been a minute. I'm excited to talk some hoops today. Yeah, that's really it. I think it's been over a month since I've been on, or maybe a month.
Maybe it has been. Hang on, yeah, I have the whole show and the whole catalog in front of me now. So give me a second. Hope it doesn't play anything. Okay, it's about to. But so I want to say, yeah. So the last episode was by myself, and then the episode before that was the episode with you and Tyler. So yeah, it was,
I was gonna say, was the last episode me and Tyler? That's crazy.
It was, yeah, that's crazy. Yep. So anyway, yeah, lots has happened since then. But before we start off, so this is episode 107. For a while I kept forgetting. I'm like, oh, I forgot to track which episode. I did the tracking right before we started. And it's also January 8th. So happy birthday to Keon Ellis of the Sacramento Kings, to Glenn Robinson and Tony Bradley. Don't even know which team those guys are playing on now. Is Glenn Robinson on the Heat? I don't know. That sounds like it. I have no idea. But and then Calvin
Tony
Nat,
Bradley just got waived. Actually, funny you said that.
Did he? Oh wow, yeah. And then Calvin Nat, who I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen him play. But I haven't seen him play. But I don't think I've seen him on really anything except for when I make my all-time spreadsheets. That's really the only I see him a bunch because he made one All-Star game and one All-Rookie team. I think are his two accolades. So those are the only times I've seen him. Cross sports, happy birthday to Jason Giambi. For being he wasn't on the Moneyball team, but however what we do know is that they couldn't replace Giambi, so they had to make they had to what the hell's the term
replacing the aggregate.
Okay, say it again.
Replacing the aggregate.
Yeah. So obviously Jason Giambi's an all-time great, one of the best peaks of all time. But that being said, they were
Mike Francesa's favorite player.
What was that?
Mike Francesa's favorite player.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Let's not. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I heard a stat the other day that said I could be dead wrong, but supposedly half of the first six best players weren't even mentioned in the movie according to WAR. Something like that.
Yeah, they had a Cy Young pitcher. Barry Zito wasn't even mentioned.
Miguel Tejada, yeah, MVP. Yeah. And happy birthday to Mike Cameron, Met legend. I think he was on the team in 2005. I don't even know if he was on the team for more than that. I could be wrong. But also, then we go to the NFL. There was really no one that I recognized except for Blair Walsh. She's a kicker. We don't need to go into it, but I'm pretty sure that there was a scandal regarding him a little bit ago. I could be wrong. I have no idea.
I think he just missed a kick.
Is that it? Maybe that's it. Honestly,
he missed a kick versus the Seahawks, I believe.
Okay. And then to Isaiah Crowell or Crowell. Was he on the Jets?
Yeah, Jet legend.
He was on the Jets, right? Because I know I first knew him from that Madden game that we played on our iPhone. And he was always the first. He was one of the first ones you had to play with before upgrading. So yeah, he was. Oh wait, no, he was on my fantasy team too. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, he was on the Jets and he was on the Browns, I think. So yeah, so lots of. All these guys, except for except for Jason Giambi, are guys that we're gonna go to at a bar 20 years from now and say and just the stereotype of just listing off random role players. So oh, remember this guy? Yeah. So maybe we'll make that a theme too. But yeah, so here we are. I did NBA Max last night, but yeah, regardless, it's great to be back to doing my show for the first time in close to a month now. So we're super happy to be back. All right. So as I mentioned, lots has happened since the All-Star. Yes. Since the last episode, especially last night. Towards the end of NBA Max, I got the alert, literally right as we were signing off. I got the alerts from Shams that said that Trae Young had been traded to the Wizards. It was actually pretty cool because we were literally. He was Tony literally said he's like, "Oh, are you recording tomorrow?" Because that's what it usually does at the end of the episode, and then we sidetracked a bit like we always do on NBA Max. Then I said, "Oh, breaking news: Trae Young just traded to the Wizards." And then we talked a little bit about that in the beginning of the episode because we knew it was going to happen anyway, so it wasn't really that breaking. But it was still pretty cool because you know how much we love breaking news on the pod. But yeah, so Hawks All Star, a former Hawks All Star, 4-time All Star, more specifically, he was traded to the Washington Wizards for C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert. Um, Trae Young, who one day was considered like top 20, some people even had him top 15. I don't think I ever had him that high. I was I feel like I've always been like on my opinion on Trae Young. It's kind of varied to what the public thinks. You know, like in the beginning of his career, I feel like he was a little overrated because people were super impressed with his size and being able to carry such a great offense. But then I feel like his defense held him back. But then after that, he led his team to the conference finals. So I started to like him a little more. But then people trashed him. So I don't. So I've always had like a complex thought about Trae Young because I've always been like back and forth because while yes he is like a very bad defensive player, I'm someone who's always been well. Not, I shouldn't say always because again that's a contradiction, but like I'm someone at least for the past couple of years has said, hey, listen, this guy's still a great offensive player. He's a walking 29-9 when healthy. So but that being said, the league, more specifically the front offices, clearly didn't value him as much as I would have because if I'm the Hawks GM, I'm pissed because you probably could have traded Trae Young earlier and gotten much more for this, but instead you only got an aging teammate, CJ McCollum, who granted is having a pretty solid year with the Wizards, and Corey Kispert, who if I'm being honest, yeah, Matt's going to be able to speak on Corey Kispert more than I am probably, um, but yeah, just to get like absolutely zero trade value back from him, zero draft capital more specifically is absolutely wild. So I kind of gave my I gave the facts, but I gave my very um base level opinion. So Matt wanted to know what your thoughts were on this trade.
Yeah, you kind of touched on a lot of good points here. To keep it simple, the Hawks are just a better team without Trae Young on the floor. Say what you want about where you have him ranked um, in the league, like what number player, but simple enough. The Hawks timeline does not fit the Trae Young timeline. Um, Granted, he's still a very very good offensive player. The Hawks' offensive rating with Trae Young on the floor was ranked fifth in the league. It was 119. However, he's might be the worst defender in the league. The defensive rating was ranked 30th, which defensive rating was 126. So they were at a net negative at minus 6.8. With him off the floor, their offense took a dip. With a 113 offensive rating, and the defensive rating was way way better with him off the floor at 112. So their net rating would have been 16th with him off the floor. So they're a pretty like solid mediocre team with him off the floor, but very bad team with him on the floor. Their net rating was 25th in the league with him on the floor. Um, their defensive rating with Trae Young with Trae Young off the floor is similar to the Orlando Magic, who's known as like a pretty good defensive team. That's kind of their identity. And the Hawks defensive rating with Trae Young on the floor this year is 30th out of 30 teams. The Jazz are last currently right now, but if Trae Young played every minute of every game, the Hawks would be dead last. Um, he also has been hurt all year. I mean, like you said, Chris, I think you're a bigger Trae Young fan than I am. I have made fun of him here and there, especially he's on my fantasy team this year. He played in 70, I think 75 games last year, 92% of the games last year, and this year he's played in less than a quarter of them, which is awesome that I drafted him in the second round. Um, and Trae Young got to play with Jalen Johnson and Kristaps Porzingis a total of 42 minutes this season.
Oof.
So literally a total of one game. Um, it's kind of a shame that they didn't really get to test out. Jalen Johnson's emerging into a star, and Porzingis is their big free agency signing or a big trade, big move this offseason. But yeah, it was the right move to move on from Trae Young. They probably waited a little too long to do it, clearly, because they only got Corey Kispert and McCollum back. Saying all this, saying all the negatives about Trae Young, he is still a very, very good offensive player, and it's an awesome move for the Wizards. They barely gave up anything. McCollum's on an expiring deal. Kispert is a solid player, but I mean, you give him up for a player like Trae Young any day of the week, and you keep all your draft capital. Wizards have been playing better. I think there are, I want to say 6-6 in the last 12, or 6-7 in the last 13, something like that.
Right.
Um, but they have been playing better. I wonder how much Trae Young is going to play for them because he is lingering with that hamstring injury. I wonder if they're just going to shut him down and build for next year. But I do like this move for the Wizards. I do like this move for my over 20.5 win total for the
Me
Wizards
too.
this year. That moves the needle a little bit. But I think, sorry, I'm rambling here a little bit, but the Wizards
You're
have
good.
a very, very solid young core with Bilal and Trey Johnson, and Alex Sarr is becoming a star right in front of us. Very, very underrated player. I feel like nobody
Right.
really talks about him right now. And I think Trae Young is going to be a good veteran for those guys. It seems like a lot of his old teammates like playing with Trae Young. He doesn't really give a lot on the defensive end, but he seems like a good guy at least. And he's a good mentor for a player like Trey Johnson, who's very good offensively. So we'll see where this goes. We'll see if the Wizards keep him for his entire deal, or if they try to move on from him eventually again, which I think it'll probably be virtually impossible to do due to his contract. But I don't hate the move for the Wizards, and the Hawks kind of had to cut their losses.
Yeah, so Trey has a player option after this. Is it after this year? Yeah, so
Yeah.
after this year, he has a player option. I have a very hard time believing that he'll opt out of that because it's 48 million. I'm sure. Yeah, like if he opts out, I don't know what team is giving him anything close to that. I feel like what do you think? Maybe like I don't even know. Like is any team giving him a 30 million AAV?
I mean, if they wouldn't trade for him right now, why wouldn't they like
I don't
be
know. Like
comfortable giving him that much? So
so like, the only thing I can think of is maybe it's one of those things where like they don't want to give up any assets, but maybe they're willing to overpay for him just a little bit. But yeah, yeah, like yeah, if I were his agent, I would say, dude, just opt into your contract. Hopefully you're healthy next year and just ball out. Either the Wizards can give you a handsome extension, or some other team will bite at you at your higher value. So yeah, but I was
I was
saying
gonna
last night
say,
on NBA Max, I just didn't know what type of team would benefit a ton from trading for Trae Young. Like the Wizards are a rare scenario because they're young and on the up and coming, but they're on the up and coming, but they really don't have a sense of direction because they just have a bunch of young good players. And that works out sometimes, even like a team like the Celtics, like they were young, but the reality is like they were never like they never like didn't have a veteran. Like there was always like an Al Horford or an Isaiah Thomas or a Kemba Walker to lead them. So every team needs like a leader. So hopefully there's the thought is like, okay, maybe we can go after Trae Young here. Get rid of CJ McCollum, who's clearly not part of our future. And just see what we can do. So that's why I think it's what's going to happen is they're just looking to see exactly what they can do from here. But other than a team like the Wizards, I don't know what other team would benefit from them. Like I'm not going to go through every single team off the top of my head, but because like he's like the rare scenario to where like if you're a championship contender, I don't know of any teams that are currently like on the cusp of maybe winning a championship. He either doesn't move the needle for them or just straight up hurts them because I guess we can go through the contenders. So like yeah, like obviously the Knicks aren't going to trade for him because you're not going to pair him up with Brunson. That would be awful. The Pistons are already on a roll. I'm not going to pair him up with Cade because that would just be a weird fit. Even though Cade's longer and a better defender than him. Um, and then yeah, obviously the Celtics aren't gonna go all in on a very very expensive deal. The only one that we could I wouldn't even consider these guys contenders anymore. The Cavs is maybe doing like a Darius Garland, Trae Young straight up. But like even then, like the Cavs, I think the Cavs are. I think they're like Darius Garland, and I don't know what to think about I don't know what to think about the Cavs. Obviously, they're like a much worse team than I thought they'd be. But like yeah, they were like the only contender that I feel like maybe would have benefited slightly because Trae Young's obviously the much better offensive player, but it's obviously the worst defensive player. So and then out west, literally every single team I think would get worse by trading for him. Like even a team like the Rockets who don't have a clear ball handler. Like Amon Thompson's having a very good season as their starting point guard, but he's not like a natural point guard. Um, but every other team, the Lakers, the Thunder, the Nuggets, all those guys have like valid point guards, and every other team that like isn't a contender. Why would you be paying that much money for a guy that's just not gonna bring you to the promised land? So I understand why his trade value was low, just because he isn't someone that's gonna like change your franchise for like the long run. He'll sell you tickets. He'll have some fun moments, but at the end of the day, especially under like the second apron, it's very very hard to build around smaller guys.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's why I think it's it was a good move for the Wizards. They're not contending right now, and I think he'll just be a good locker room guy and a good
Mhm.
mentor for the young guys.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. So I don't. Yeah. I don't know how much we'll see. How much of Trae Young we'll see this year. Yeah, like maybe he's thinking like I'm just gonna rest up the rest of the year. Maybe even in the training room is saying like, hey, listen, dude, like I know you're banged up and we're just in a bad spot. So just maybe they'll play him a little bit towards the end of the year just to say like how like let's see how you can play with these guys and see who we want to hold on to if it works out. But yeah, other than that, I just say, dude, we already know how good of a player you are. So let's just but we're stacked with the team of young guys. So let's let them run a bit and then see who we want for the long run.
Yeah, it's awesome that I took him in the early second round, and I took Sabonis, my first overall pick, who hasn't played since
Yikes.
early November. Then I have Ja, who's a loser, and then I have Drew Holiday, who's been day to day since November 14th. It's great. It's great.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Here's a you probably saw this. Like Ryan Russillo ran a poll the other day, and I talked about this on NBA Max. So out of the four players, who would you rather build around? So the four players were Trae Young, John Morant, Zion Williamson, and Joel Embiid.
Oh
Um,
God!
so I'll tell you the results in a second. I'll also
Did you
tell
make
you
a
my pick.
TikTok about this the other day? Oh no, that
No.
was number two option. It was like Lamelo or Ja, right?
Oh yeah, that was a couple. Yeah. That was a couple months ago.
Oh really? I thought I saw
Yeah.
that the other day.
You probably did see. Yeah, TikTok's been weird lately, but what the hell is it? Wait, no, I should look up under my. But but yeah, I'll just tell you right now because I can't find it. But yeah, like yeah, Zion won. He had like 30 something percent. I don't know how that's the case. He's more injury prone than all those guys. Um,
I think
yeah,
it's Trae Young, right?
so I agree. Yeah, so Zion's
That's right. We're talking
37%.
about right now.
Yeah, so
Okay,
Zion
yeah, I
30.
would say Trae Young.
Yeah, Zion 37%, Trae Young 30%, John Moran 17%, Joel Embiid 16%.
I,
Um,
I think Embiid is last on that list purely because of age,
age and
um,
contract probably.
and contract. Ja is definitely third for me. He's a loser.
Yes, I agree.
His game is off. Is
He's just
negative.
so like he was so it's weird because like so yeah, so 2022 he got into all the trouble and then he was suspended for part of 2025. Came back in 2023. He was like looking. Oh wait, or was it 2020? Oh no, it was 2024 that he came back for a bit and looked solid. Yeah, that's what it was. And then he got injured. 2025 he just didn't look like the same player at all. And even yeah, and this year just looks straight up bad. So it's like looking like the worst year of his career, which is it's like unheard of. Like hearing like all these young guys who just are just completely falling off. Like I know it's like harder for smaller guys to develop, but like he wasn't supposed to be like a typical small guy. He's supposed to be like a Westbrook type. He's like athletic, he's strong,
I mean
and
this
yeah, he's just not that guy.
this is the issue with his game is that he never learned how to shoot. He never developed a jump
Yep.
shot, and
Mhm.
when you're the lightest player in the league and you rely on your athleticism, you're a couple injuries away from just not being in the league anymore. And
That's right.
that's exactly what's happening. I took him twice in fantasy basketball this year, where he's played in like 5 games, and then the year he played in 9 games in
Yikes.
2023. So
Ugh. Yep. All right. So yeah, so very interesting to see how this Trey Young thing pans out. Um, the next thing is something that's really not newsworthy at all in the NBA. It's more so just I don't even know how to describe it. Yeah, it's more so just like a discussion, a discourse on Celtics Twitter. I don't even know how much of the NBA is talking about it outside of Boston. I'm sure there are a couple people, but essentially the Celtics are on a roll. They're looking. They're currently third in the East. They were second for hot minutes, right ahead of the Knicks, but then the Knicks won yesterday. The Celtics lost, so I think it's still a half the game back. But the Celtics are looking like an awesome team and contender in the East because on the back of Jalen Brown, he's looking like an all. Like I'll say it. Like we were talking about last night. Like I think he's an All NBA first team caliber player based on the way he's playing. He's averaging like over 30 points per game now. Putting like on solid efficiency, still playing very good defense. Derek White had Derek White had a very slow start of the season, but has been awesome since. Still like his efficiency numbers are pretty low, but for the whole season, but like he's still been very solid lately. I think his on-off numbers are insane. I think it's like a 10 point difference. Neemias Queta he was like the fourth string center for the Celtics last year, starting center this year. He's been very, very good for like playing his role much. Definitely someone that I'd be interested in bringing back as like a backup center, probably. Who else is on? Who else am I missing? Anthony Simons, though inconsistent, when he's hot, he's really having his moments. He's really having a great few weeks. Alongside, who am I missing? Ugo Gonzalez. Was he a first round? Yeah, he was first round, right?
Yeah, he was 28th.
Yeah, 28th. Yeah, the 28th. He's been someone who I criticized the pick. I said that wasn't a good pick by Brad, but he's been very, very solid. And even though, Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser, they've been kind of disappointing this year, but like, regardless, Sam Hauser's been better as of late, actually. But
Same with Pritchard.
was it Pritchard's been
I
better
think
too?
Pritchard's been solid this year. He's been inconsistent,
he's been pretty, much better. But Celtics have been playing awesome and much better than people expected. Obviously, we lose 3 of our starters plus Al Horford, which even then I would consider him a starter. He started more games than Porzingis, so like you can argue 3.5 starters, I guess. And one of them being Jason Tatum. So obviously this happens with everyone. Like obviously if this happens with it happened with LeBron when the Lakers were looking good without him. It would have happened definitely with Shea if the Thunder went on a roll without him. So I don't want to take the whole angle where like, oh, it's only Jason Tatum, but I will say it happens more with Jason Tatum than anyone else in the league. That if his team goes on a run, it's, oh, the Celtics are better without Jason Tatum. And frankly, I don't know why I still get annoyed by it, because I know that Jason Tatum is like an easy target, because like, oh, he's corny, he's not really cool, which I think he's very cool, by the way. Like he's not like the stereotypical, just like alpha male, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. He's not like those typical guys. So people would say like oh, he's not that guy, even though time and time again he just wins every single year, puts up great numbers, plays in every game up until this year. And he's the definition of a franchise player. And just because the Celtics are playing better this year, they're not playing better this year. They're playing better than expected this year. They think that it's a whole indictment on Tatum. So I have much more to say, but I don't want to clog up too much. So Matt, what are your thoughts on this whole discussion going on?
Yeah, I feel like you mentioned it like a lot. This happens a lot when like a star is out and the team kind of has like a new identity because the star is out. And the Celtics always find a way to win games. I remember we talked on the over under pod. I think their line was at 41.5, and I think all 3 of us took the over, but it was like a slight over. So definitely exceeding expectations, and I think that's because I didn't expect Jaylen Brown to play at a NBA first team or second team, if not first team level. He's leading the league in makes, by the way. He makes 11 field goals a game. He's averaging 30 points. He's been unbelievable all year. And a lot of the young guys have stepped up. We saw a leap from Jordan Walsh. Ugo Gonzalez is contributing, like you mentioned. But I think the main thing is that Joe Mazzulla is just an elite coach. His offense is truly unbelievable. I watch TikTok breakdowns of the sets that he runs and the back screens and the flare screens and everything like that. It's unbelievable. It's literally like a chess match that he's playing and winning almost every night out there. But like you said, the media discourse, though, the Celtics are better without Tatum. Oh, Jaylen Brown's better without Tatum. It doesn't, like, it used to bother me. It used to get me upset. But right now it's like, I feel like it's, you play in a big market, like you play in a historic franchise like the Celtics, like the media is gonna try to do that. I mean, you see it with a lot of bigger markets like that, but they're always going to do that when the star is out and the team is exceeding their expectations. So I feel like I know who definitely doesn't care is the players on the Celtics. So
That's for
that's
sure.
all that matters.
So one of them was like so like it was like a caption. So it was like a video of like praising Jaylen Brown, and then like the caption of the video said, oh, if Tatum put up these numbers, he would have won Player of the Month, and then Jaylen like that Insta. So I'll tell you one thing I don't care about is how players interact is like players' interactions on social media. I definitely don't care about it with Jaylen Brown, because he's been I'll say it. He's been an idiot on social media for a while because he also tweeted out like SMH like when Derek White made the Olympic team over him. Very oftentimes it's like very oftentimes I'm just like, dude, what are we doing here? But that being said, it hasn't ruined the Celtics locker room. I've learned a long time ago that I don't know what goes on in locker rooms. And Jason Tatum clearly doesn't have a problem with with the way that Jaylen Brown behaves on social media, which I won't say behaves because it sounds like it's like him. It's not like he's like posting anything inappropriate or like being like it's just like passive aggressive comments or likes or retweets. So like obviously it doesn't bother Tatum. Or if it does, like it doesn't affect it doesn't affect their play at the very least, which is all I really care about. Yeah, the whole like the two of them don't like each other. Like again, I don't care about that either. Like if
Yeah,
they're
we've heard that for like almost a decade at this point, and I
yeah,
mean they're always
which
with each
yeah,
other and they hang out. Like,
which like Fluent made the point last night. He said yeah, you can say that, but Shaq and Kobe also were with each other for however long. I don't even was that like how long was that? Was that like 7-8 years probably?
yeah,
And the wait, so I don't even know when Shaq traded in the 1999. I think was the year 1990, and then left in 05. So it's a little less than that actually. Now that I think about it, um, but so yeah, just that whole the whole notion and at the end of the day, yeah, like I'm not here to trash Jaylen Brown whatsoever. He's having an awesome season, and I'm obviously someone who's defended him um since forever, but more specifically, like I was like the lone trooper. Me and myself and or even Move Social, we were like the only ones defending defending the contract that was signed like his extension like after 2023 when he had like the worst series of his life. But he came back, won Finals MVP, did all that, proved everyone wrong. But at the end of the day, I do think there's levels to this, and I don't think that he's on the same level as Jason Tatum as far as it goes for at their peak. I don't know what Jason Tatum is going to look like when he comes back, but if Tatum comes back and hopefully eventually gets back 100%, it's not going to be this year. Hopefully next year he comes back 100%, which I think is possible, especially if he comes back this year. But yeah, there are levels to this, and and like just like the whole notion that like things are going to get screwed up with Tatum coming back. I just don't buy it, mainly just because the Celtics haven't played a playoff series yet. Like this team is fun, it's everything like that. I think they, even without Tatum, I think that's they're like a couple lucky bounces away from making the finals, and I don't think that's outrageous to say. I think it's outrageous to say that they can win the finals. They can beat either the Thunder or the Nuggets or the Rockets. I think that would be a far stretch without Tatum. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just nonsense, in my opinion.
yeah. Who's to say that Tatum can't come back at 100% this year? I do disagree with you on that. I mean,
Okay.
I think the surgery right after the night of the Achilles, and he's getting the best treatment you possibly can for
Definitely
a
true.
human.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah,
we'll see. The East is weak. We'll see.
absolutely. All right, so this is going to be a very short podcast episode, actually, because yeah, the plan was to do mailbag today. We have we have three questions. We can dive pretty deep into each of them. I know that's two of them are from Matt's friends. Did they tell you what they were, by the way, or no?
No, I didn't ask him.
They didn't tell you anything. Oh, perfect. Okay, so
No.
the first one is coming from our former teammates, Patrick Warts. He just commented. I think it was just 2 words. I think it was just only 2 words that he commented. He just commented, 3 words. Sorry, is Embiid back? So let me pull up the stats. So I'll go from December 12th, in which he's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games and has missed 3 of those, which I'm not blaming him for missing those games, but in those 9 games, he's averaging 29 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, a stock and a half, 52.3% from the field, still pretty weak from 3. Nothing on true shooting, but obviously just looking like playing his best basketball for sure since 2024, like before he got injured. So obviously obviously it's great to see Embiid back to playing like this. Is he back fully? I don't know. my opinion on Embiid has always been the same. He's an awesome player, and when he's on, he's one of the best players in the league. But the question, so is he fully back to playing like that? I don't know if he can do that consistently. Like even if I check the numbers now, yeah, obviously, yeah. So if we just go through it from most recent to recent, so 28, 32, 26, 22, 34, 31, 27, 22, 39. So yeah, I guess it's pretty easy to get excited when like the lowest amount of points you scored in the last month is only 22 points. So when before that he was scoring 16 and 12 and 18. So but yeah, obviously just the question as my thing with Embiid has always been, can he do it in the playoffs? And maybe this year's different, like to where he can to where the Sixers are like a better team now, especially with Tyrese Maxey, probably the best teammate that Embiid's played with, like this version of Maxey, I should say. But is he back fully? I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not here to say otherwise. I'm obviously. Like, I would say. Yeah, I would say. I definitely dislike Embiid more than like the average basketball fan. But yeah, I'll give him flowers for sure, because like I thought that he was done fully beginning of the season, but he's playing his best basketball since before his injury in 2024.
Yeah, I think Sixer fans have something to be optimistic about, even though it is a small sample size of 5 games. This is the first time Joel Embiid has played 5 straight games since. Do you know when, Chris?
Is it 2020 2019 maybe I'm gonna say
No,
ever.
no,
No,
2024, Chris. You don't think he's played 5 straight games
I don't
in
know.
his since
Okay.
the Knicks series in 2024? I hate when I
The Knicks
ask
series.
somebody a
Okay,
question and they
okay,
overshoot it.
yeah, that's right. Okay, okay, yeah. I definitely dislike Embiid more than the average person. The fact that I thought that he hasn't played in more than 5 straight games since. I'm like, okay, yeah, I
2019,
can.
since Trump's first term. That's when you think Embiid played 5 straight games. Um, but I think, obviously those 5 games, I mean, the Sixers go as far as Embiid goes, and I think that's always been it. And I
Mm,
think even more now, even though he isn't the number one option anymore, it's clearly Maxi, and they do have younger guys like Edgecombe to play through. But I think the biggest takeaway from these 5 games isn't that he's averaging close to 30 points a game at 28.4, or his efficiency's back up, and he's averaging 8 rebounds, and he's dishing the ball again. He's averaging 5 assists. I think the biggest takeaway is the minutes played. He's playing 34 minutes a game in these last
yeah,
5 games. So,
okay.
and they beat. I mean, they haven't beaten a ton of great teams. They beat the Wizards, the Grizzlies, and the Mavericks in these 5 games, but they also beat the Knicks. And the
Yeah.
Knicks were without Josh Hart, but they kind of like soundly beat them that game. It was back and forth a little bit, but the Sixers pulled away, and Embiid played a great game. With playing against Karl Anthony Towns, who usually does a okay job against him, and Mitchell Robinson, who's an elite defender. But I don't know if he's back. It's only a 5 game sample size. I think if you could get this version of Embiid, or a slightly less version of Embiid where he's giving you this production in 25 minutes instead of having to play 35 minutes, not that points, but this efficiency in 25 minutes, I think the Sixers are an exciting team. I don't know if they could come out of the East. I don't think so, but they wouldn't be a team I would want to play if Embiid's fully healthy in the playoffs.
So they're currently the 5 seed, a game and a half behind the Raptors. I think they're clearly worse than the Pistons, the Knicks, and the Celtics. I'd still take the Cavs over them in a series.
I would take them
That's
over the Raptors though right now.
I would take them over the Raptors. I agree. And I'd probably take them over the Magic too. Yeah, they've been better than expected.
Damn, so they're the 5 seed. So if they beat the Raptors right now, they'd have to play the Pistons or the Knicks one.
the Pistons. The Pistons are first. By 4 games. So
Oh yeah, I forgot the Knicks have been sliding recently.
yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about the Pistons, because like they've clearly been the best team in the East this year. Like not even close, but it's kind of similar to what the Cavs were last year, to where they were, to where like at this point last year, the Cavs were the clear best team in the East, like record wise. But like everyone knew except me, and like except me apparently, that like they're like they weren't, they're not like your typical 1 seed, and I feel like that with the Pistons this year, because even though I love Cade Cunningham, like everyone else is just a solid player who does their role really well, but like when you run into like a veteran team, I don't know if the Sixers would be considered that. Obviously Maxey and Embiid have a lot of playoff experience at this point, but along as does Paul George, but obviously he's not what he used to be. But so like I don't know if like running into like a into like an experienced team would screw up the Pistons. So I'm only rambling on to justify like a far Sixers run. By the way, so I don't know.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing with the Pistons. I think are a definitely a better team. This is just to appease to
yes,
Drew Fitzpatrick and Pat Wirt right now. I will pick the Pistons in that series every single time, but the thing is with the Pistons, you like you said, they have Kate Cunningham, who's a star, who's a top 10 player in the league, but then you also have everyone else who's just solid at their role. Like if you look, I watched a couple of Pistons games this year. The end of games, Cade drives to the rim and there's 3 or 4 guys on him, and he has to make the play to kick it out, and then you're relying on solid role players like Duncan Robinson or even like Denassus Jenkins to hit a big shot, which they can do it, but I don't know how reliable that is to make a deep playoff run. I think that they're
right.
still a like a very very solid number 2 away from being a true contender.
Definitely agree. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things go the rest of the year. But yeah, hopefully Embiid stays healthy because that's the entire thing too. Is yeah,
Yeah,
he's
that's
like
it.
because like earlier this year he was healthy but like just rusty. But like now he's healthy and playing well. So yeah, hopefully he stays healthy to see what happens there. But yeah, like you said, they go as far as they say. I'm gonna save the question from your other friends until the end of the show because it's but for this one, this is from Silence NBA, who tags me in a million things a day, by the way. He said, how great would the impact be if the league suddenly reverted to all its rules back to what they were in the 90s, allowing hand checking, no 3 second rule, no Euro step gather, step allowed, travel, to name a few?
How better would it be for the league?
How great would the impact be?
Oh, I think it would be a huge impact if they went back to 90s rules, because wasn't there like no like there was like a legal defense where you couldn't help if a player was posting up and
Something like
stuff like
that.
that.
Yeah,
Like I think the game would be played way differently. I think the whole hand checking argument is a little overblown though, because I feel
I
like
agree.
if you have the reputation of being a good defender, you get away with hand checking today. Like even from the Celtics side, like Jaylen Brown gets away with it. When Drew Holiday was on the Celtics, he gets away with it. Um, and I mean, like guys around the league, like Lou Dort hand checks. A lot of guys in the Thunder like that. Like a lot of the elite defenders, still hand check and get away with it. The no defensive 3 seconds would be extremely different, though. I believe. Um,
Absolutely.
because you look at the Olympics, like guys like Rudy Gobert and Wembanyama would just sit in the paint on France. I think that would be something similar to that.
How good would Rudy Gobert be? Where would he rank in the league
It'd
in
be
no three
elite.
seconds? He would be. So I think he's like top. I think he's probably like around top 50ish now, even though he's playing better this year than last year. I feel like probably maybe like early 40s at his best. But like yeah, I feel like he'd be easily like inside the top 30. If that were the case, but he's also worse offensively than he was at the beginning of his career. So yeah, I'll say that. But
Sorry,
we know that's not true.
who
Like,
submitted that
like
question?
what was it?
Who submitted that question?
Silence NBA is his name on TikTok.
Is that your burner? So you could have did do Rudy Gobert propaganda
Obviously,
today?
obviously. Yeah, of course. Like I don't need a burner to mention Rudy Gobert. Could have easily just done that usually could have done that with the Embiid question. Um. All right. So last question is from Matt's friend Cameron Cooper, and I loved this question when I saw it. His question is: need an NBA comparison for each Driscoll?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, great one. So Matt and I each have our own. And I'm sure we can add more. Yeah, I'll say mine. So mine, we play basketball. I don't play as much anymore, but we used to play basketball. Matt still does. I used to play basketball a lot on Wednesday nights at the St. Dennis Court in Manasquan. In which I'd always have my Al Horford jersey on because um I'd be very similar to Al Horford. I just like I set a bunch of screens. I do a lot of pick and pop. And
A
yeah,
young
like
Al Horford, the mid range.
yeah. The mid range, I always guard the other team's best big man. And yeah, like neither of us have a really good handle. But yeah. At the end of the day, I was mostly there just for vibes. And Horford's there for more than just vibes. I'm not saying otherwise, but at the end of the day, like
You were
that's
a winner like Al.
I appreciate you saying that. But yeah, like yeah, and all of the guys that said us, they still refer to me as Al Horford to this day. So just very very cool. But like that's who I am. I'm sure there's other player. Yeah. I know that Johnny Lang, friend of the pod, used to call me Channing Frye because of my mid range jumper. That was like his
I
main
like
thing.
that.
That was actually when we were playing dunk ball, actually. And I was like shooting the mid range a ton. So yeah, like I think his thing was really just looking for a mid range specialist. So, but like I think he just wanted like a forward because he couldn't call me Sean Livingston because he was always just a guard. But yeah, so those are the two players. I remember like a long time ago. I think I called myself Dennis Rodman just because I was just because like on like JV and on my school teams, I was never really the best scorer. So I just thought like I was going to grab a bunch of rebounds, but obviously I wasn't grabbing 20 rebounds a game. But I was definitely still consider myself a rebound specialist because that was my main thing I did when I was in high school. So yeah, I've listed a couple, but yeah, Al Horford is my answer. But like yeah, I've been compared to a couple of others as well.
I think that's your comp. I'm trying to think of one for John. Um, I have a couple
So
for myself, but for John, I'm thinking he plays more like a guard than a
yes.
guard, like a two or a three, sometimes a one.
Hmm.
And he also likes the mid range. You could tell we grew up playing in the driveway where we could shoot from the left side. If we shoot from the right side too deep, it would hit the telephone wires.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
I was thinking without the foul grifting, he is like SGA a little bit, where he
Okay.
drives and he likes to turn around mid range on the baseline a lot. He's good around the rim. So I was thinking like SGA a little bit. He uses his body a lot when I'm guarding him to bump off. I don't know if you have any comparisons.
I don't know. I know that he used to save Malcolm Brogdon, because he would smoke his layups. But no, but like even like saying the good things, like like he's a very good 3-point shooter. He's a good slasher. Yeah, plays solid defense. So like yeah, just a guy that can shoot threes and good at driving too. So yeah, like yeah, Shea's definitely a good comparison there. I feel like yeah, like obviously at his best, I think he's better. He probably way better than all of us. But like I still feel like saying he's the best player in the world is a bit of a cop out. So is there anyone
Me
else that we're
saying
missing?
SGA is a cop out for John.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about just pure play styles. Like
Yeah, of
I'm
course. Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
think
yeah.
of
I know you are, but like, is there anyone else who's like a great driver and three? Like, yeah, like obviously who's great at both. So I don't
Jalen
know. Yeah,
Brown.
like yeah. I don't need to spend I don't need to spend the next 5 minutes
Jalen
thinking
Brown,
about it. But he's he's definitely
but
he's
he's
definitely
not that
better.
athletic though. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
Jalen
he's not that
Jalen
athletic,
uses
and he also
the.
doesn't hold on the ball for 5 minutes at a time as well. Like
That's
he's
true.
and he's
That was more
and
of
he's
a
much
me.
yeah he's much quicker with the basketball. So um yeah, I feel like Jason Tatum is actually a better comparison than Jalen Brown, honestly. Probably.
Well, really, I think we're being too nice to John here. Tatum and SGA as his comparisons.
um,
Um,
and then yours, obviously.
yeah, my friends say. So recently I just got a new one. Shout out Chris Bastine, teammate and Jimmy's Cucina legend.
Ah,
He says that I play like Taj Gibson a little bit with my
oh,
post game with the post fades, which I agree with. But I play more like a three, I would say, compared to and a four compared to Taj Gibson, who's more of a 4 and 5. Um, Shout out friend of the pod and guest Tyler Casaretto says I'm Lamarcus Aldridge a lot of the time with my mid range game, and if I'm feeling good, it's Carmelo Anthony a little bit. A lot of contested mid ranges and a lot of ISO ball at some points. But I don't know who else I would be. I feel like I dish it more than Carmelo Anthony, so I don't know if that's a
you
great
definitely do.
comparison, but
Yes, you definitely do.
I
You're
would
also a
say
much better
that.
defender than him, and you're a better defender than him, even if you were in the NBA as well. Oh, wait, I forgot the episode 100. The episode for the Mellow Haters episode is already filmed, hasn't come out yet. I, I'm pulling
Oh,
up
I forgot
the.
to mention this is our first pod since you went Hollywood on us.
It is, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I wasn't going to talk too much. Yeah. I'll mention it now, but I'll mention it now because we're towards the end of the show now.
Hold
But
on,
yeah,
Chris. Before you mention it, LaMarcus Aldridge only averaged 1.9 assists for his career. I think I need a new
really,
comparison. Yeah,
I didn't realize it was that low. Oh my god.
his high was 2.6.
Okay, that's wow. I didn't realize it was that
I think I
high.
need I think I need a new comparison than
I
that.
agree.
Well,
100%
I'll
agree.
work on that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So as I mentioned subtly, and as Matt clarified, yeah, I was on House of Highlights Clash, aka one fan versus 10 haters. It was, yeah. So obviously I did the recording. I mentioned, I mentioned I did the recording. I think it was on December 9th. It was a Tuesday afternoon. It was like I talked about it. Yeah, it was an awesome time. Yeah, was able to get to the city. Hung out with a lot of the other haters in the waiting room. Just talked a ton of shop. Right before then they brought us to the studio, and then they brought in the hero, they called him, like the one fan they called the hero. That guy is Tyler Britton. I don't think I didn't mention his name at the time, but he was former guest of the All Market News podcast. In one of my favorite episodes ever. He was he's a big list guy too. He doesn't do lists as much as I do, and doesn't do as much anymore. He's mostly just a content creator as far as it goes for diving into film and YouTube videos. He also has his own podcast as well called the Hoop Venue Podcast. He does with someone else. He's been the biggest Nikola Jokic fan since I can remember following him. I remember like one of our first interactions was going back and forth with him. I think it was like in 2022. I want to say maybe it was either 2022 or 2023 when he tweeted out that Jokic was the best player in the league, and then I said, listen, like I don't dislike Jokic, but he's definitely not better than definitely not. I say he's not even top three, and then he's like, no, it's disrespectful in 2022 to say he's not top three. I'm like, no, he's not better than. I said no. I was like, no, he's not better than LeBron, Giannis, or KD, and then that was kind of the end of the exchange. But yeah, obviously since then he's become the best player in the league and looking like it. Hopefully he gets better soon. So it continues looking like it as well. Um, but yeah, he was awesome. I posted a clip of the of one of our debates yesterday. And we're having him on the show next week. So yeah, we'll definitely dive more. Yeah, we'll definitely dive more into the details. But yeah, he came prepared. Yeah, he came with the receipts. He knows all the stuff. Like he has a top 100 all time list, just like I do. Very different criteria though. He actually has Al Horford in his top 100. And yeah,
No, I
he's
like
very
that
much.
guy.
Yeah. We got to watch him more. Yeah, he's very much focused on like the. So like I focus a lot on like the big picture stuff. Like like I look at accolades a little more than like much more than he does actually. He doesn't look at accolades at all. But yeah, like I look at like a lot of the winning aspects of it. I look at the not just winning, but contributions to winning. But yeah, he looks like a lot of the stats, looks at a lot of the film. So that's where our differences are there, and I don't think he's wrong at all for thinking that. But yeah, obviously he looks more into that than I do, and he has more time to look at than I do as well. That's a true. That's like I don't know about that actually, but yeah, regardless, yeah. So he's an awesome content creator, and yeah, he's an awesome guest on the show, and like definitely one of the better fans as far as it goes for being the one fan. Yeah, knows a lot of his stuff, um, and everyone else is great too. Yeah. Like I don't know if there's anyone else that is famous per se that like anyone else in the audience would know. I know the two guys that do the brackets in the suits. I think they're called. I forgot what their names are, but yeah, like they were on it. In one Freddie is another guy. He's a Knicks guy. He's pretty well known. But yeah, it was an awesome experience, and also just awesome seeing all the comments too. I think yes. So I commented on the video just saying like, "Oh, thanks for having me." And then my one comment to that comment was someone saying, "I wonder how they got so many idiots here." So I don't know if that was a comment towards me or if it was just towards everyone else. But regardless, I love it. But yeah, that shows I did my job as the hater. Which yeah, I'm going to talk with Tyler about it more. We're going to talk more about it with Tyler next week. Yeah, like I don't consider myself a Jokic hater at all. Like maybe I would have been considered one before his ring, but yeah, like I just did it to take part in the experience, and it was a ton of fun.
Chris, I have a very, very, very generous comparison for me.
Okay, go ahead.
Extremely, extremely generous.
Okay.
All right. Minus the efficiency.
Okay.
This is just, which is a huge part of his game. But
Okay.
this is just.
Are you gonna say Kawhi Leonard?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't think it's. He's a better player than Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, he's better than Kawhi Leonard. Okay.
I mean, like play style. Like
Okay,
he
go
could
ahead.
shoot.
Yeah.
He shoots the three,
Yeah.
but it's he shoots a good amount. Well, at the time for his time, he shot a good amount of threes. He shot the mid range. He had a little bit of post game. He was a big wing, and he could play make a little bit.
Okay. So big wing and can play make a little bit.
And he played in the 80s.
Larry Bird?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
minus the efficiency, which is the biggest part of his game. So Larry Bird was a master of everything at the basket.
He's also the, like, outside of LeBron and Jokic, he's also the third best non-guard passer of all time as well. So
Okay, listen, Chris, ready?
you're a
Larry
good
Bird
passer.
was
Like,
a
I'm not saying you're not, but like,
Larry Bird was a master at everything offensively in basketball.
yes.
And I'm okay at everything offensively. I'm not great at anything.
Yes.
I could do a little
you're not
bit
bad
of
at anything either.
everything, not
Okay.
great. I'm a
Okay, that makes
jack
sense.
of all trades, master at none. He was a master at everything.
Okay.
See, I laughed when you said Kawhi Leonard. I was like, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, I'm picking somebody that's better than Kawhi Leonard. Maybe we'll stick with Taj Gibson for now, and then we'll think about somebody else.
How about for John, prime Pete Paul George?
I like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking Paul George too. Like,
Yeah.
similar thing. Like, kind of does a lot.
He's a little more ball dominant than Paul George, but yeah, I feel like it's pretty close though.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we went a little longer than I thought we would. Yeah, I was once we got to the mailbag, I was like, oh crap, we're gonna go like under 40 minutes, but like now we were able to babble a little bit longer. So
yeah, great question from everybody, especially Cam. Shout out big Celtic fan, Cam Cooper. So shout out Rhode Island.
No, I don't. Yeah, I wasn't really familiar once I saw him, but like once you mentioned him, I'm like, oh yeah, like yeah, I remember Cam. But yeah, we're obviously very happy to be back. Next week, as I mentioned, Tyler from Hoop Venue, aka the one Jokic fan from last week's episode of One Fan versus 10 Haters, will be coming on next week. So we're very psyched about that. And after that, I've been in contact with a couple of the other guys from the studio, the other haters. So hoping that they can join us eventually. And I think they will join us eventually because obviously, obviously the past few weeks have been able to record a lot, but even like during the time, like we really haven't had a ton of actual guests on outside of our close personal friends, which obviously we love when we do have our close personal friends on, but we're trying to see if we can get more actual content creators on. So and I also think that's going to be easier once football season's over as well, because people are focusing more on hoops. So definitely excited for that. But oh yeah, one more announcement. Down in the graphic below, as you can see, it says check out additional content. So it says Primetime Sports Talk. I haven't made an official announcment yet, but however, Primetime Sports Talk, the business will be closing. So I will no longer be writing for that website. But however, just as easy, I reached out to my mentor Tony Sports Fluent, the producer of the show, to see if I could put him down as a reference for when I do other blogs. He's like, dude, just write for sportsfluent.com. I'm like, oh, okay, that's just as easy. So I wrote my first article for them, my power rankings, and it's also gonna be just as easy this time because when I publish, I have the power to publish it this time, not just Mitch the editor. So so check out my column, not at Primetime Sports Talk, but on sportsfluent.com. So I'll be I'm gonna say that again once I do my end spiel, but yeah, that's my announcement. Is sportsfluent.com is my new blog, and I'm really excited to not just be I'm already on the Sports Fluent team, but just to continue to expand my role within the Sports Fluent team. So I'm very excited for that. But anyway, Matt, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. First episode back in a minute, so we're very psyched about that. But this has been another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. Be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at All American Hooper on TikTok and on Instagram with zeros, at American Hooper on Twitter, and be sure to check me out on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. On NBA Max with Ori B from Hoop Social, with Jalen Carr Music, and with Tony, aka Sports Fluence. And be sure to check out my column on sportsfluence.com. This has been another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. I'm Chris Driscoll. Until next time, keep grinding and stay hooping. Have a great night.